This is a Russian soldier. This is also a Russian soldier. You see the difference? Good. Now, what does this say about the Russian military's activity in Ukraine? Let's talk about it. To first understand this issue, we have to actually look into the stories of these people. This man is Patrick Koba. For most of his life, he's been a carpenter working in places like Somalia, Kenya, even Qatar, so you know he's trying to get that paper. When he was around 36, he was convinced by an African friend that he should join the Russian military. Normally, most people would have said no, and Patrick would normally be on that list. But as I said, my brother is trying to get that paper. So when he sees that fat ass bonus for the job of just being a security guard, he took the job. The problem is that when he actually got to Russia, they instantly took his ass into the front lines. And this isn't a one-time thing. You have people like Charles Njoki and even Francis Ndungu Nadura being duped into the Russian military. And why is this? So, as many of you know, as of February 24, 2026, so just 5 days ago, Russia has also been invading Ukraine for 4 years. Because of its size, military, global prestige, economy, all that stuff that it has on Ukraine, Russia actually thought that it would take weeks to just take control of Ukraine, topple their government. That's not what happened. As I said, they've been fighting for 4 years. And I know this isn't related, side note, but I just wanted to acknowledge that this war is insane. Like, ever since the war started, the violence and the killings have been exponential. For example, we have stuff like the Bucha massacre. Like, before researching this, personally, I didn't know what the hell this was, but people in this event, more than 500 civilians were killed just on the streets and found lying there with their hands tied behind their backs. And personally, I just want to take a few minutes, not a few minutes, but like a few seconds to like just acknowledge how disgusting this is. Now back to the story. Because the Russian military was never prepared for 4 years of pushback, they lost a ton of their soldiers. According to CNN, by late 2023, the Russian military lost 87% of the original 360,000 troops they sent to Ukraine. In order to recuperate this, they started recruiting in various African countries like Kenya, Nigeria, even South Africa. First, they offer rosy promises of living somewhere else, saying, oh, you know what, bro, just pay $680 and you get $1,000 a month, like working at a supermarket, being a drill maker, etc. And when you pay up and get to Russia, you don't get any of that job. All you get is just being forced to sign a paper that says, Damian Ankantokara will work for the Russian military for 200 years. And there was this one guy, Richard Akantorana, and when he got to Russia and they tried to force him to sign, he refused. They said, at gunpoint, we were told, you sign these papers, you have to sign them. And it was also mainly being discovered in mid to late 2025. For example, in Uganda in August, 9 men who were going to Moscow were discovered as being hired as guards for Russia. 2 days later, in Uganda, by the name of Magnet, that was the company they were working for, they discovered that that company, Magnet, was actually a recruiting agency. The thing is that Magnet is actually a Russian supermarket, so it's likely that the Magnet was just a cover-up. They were just using its name. And see, while it's true that some people knowingly signed up to actually join the Russian military and go to the front line, it is no possible excuse for the amount of people that were forced to carry out this mission without their permission. With stuff like this happening, families all throughout Africa are left mourning their loved ones, unsure of where their loved ones are or even when or if they'll come home. Citizens are pissed off that the BS of another country / Ukraine and Russia is screwing them over, and some governments are left confused as to why another country had the audacity to, without permission, start destroying the lives of their people. Respectfully, no, not respectfully, disrespectfully, there is no upside to this situation. It's disgusting. These are my sources, by the way.